This week, we are joined by key figures behind the newly formed Oklahoma United FC, the latest soccer club competing in the NPSL. Set to compete in the Lone Star Conference, OKC United is looking to represent 405 at a high level while building strong community-based identity. In the studio today, we've got three of the club's core. We have four. You guys surprised me with an extra guest. We have Jonty Clarke, Louis Bassett, Igor. Perfect. And, of course, Abdullah Ashraf, thank you for that. Who also serves as CEO and president of the board. These guys aren't just representing the badge, they're building the foundation. We'll talk about the mission behind the club, what fans can expect in their debut NPSL season, and what it means to put on for OKC. Guys, welcome to the Mas Futbol Podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. We're very honored and impressed with this beautiful professional setup you have here. So very excited for sure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I was really excited to hear that you guys were going to be coming onto the podcast. I thought this would be a great time for maybe our community to learn a little bit about Oklahoma United FC, the mission, and kind of a little bit of the story behind the badge.
Absolutely. First of all, it's great to be on this professional set. For those watching at home, it's you got the headphones on, you can hear each other on it. I mean, it's very cool. But so Oklahoma United, all soccer has always been something for me personally that I've loved and have wanted to be a part of. Tried playing, I played on multiple OEFC teams, but never made it to that elusive first team. But there's so many good players, and it's very, very, very tough to be like these guys and to make it at the highest level as a player. So that just wasn't, the path that was set out for me, but always loved the game and wanted to be involved with it in some way, shape, or form. And so the opportunity came up to bring NPSL back to the state of Oklahoma. As of right now, we're the only NPSL team in the entire state.
Is that right?
And absolutely. And, we love the level that the NPSL is and how the freedom we get to operate as a business within the confines of the league. We really wanted to be able to bring that back to Oklahoma, but not only to bring, high quality soccer, but for us, what's really, really, really important, and you'll see it, and I'm sure we'll go into it a little bit with our initiatives, but to tie, the community that brings soccer, its beauty, with high level winning soccer was something that we wanted to do and bring for fans to watch. And so, super excited to make that happen and to bring that to the city who loves soccer and the state who loves soccer.
Nice. So it seems like you are an Oklahoman then, right?
Correct. Yeah, I moved here in 2013 from Chicago, from the big city to here, and could not be happier with the place that we ended up moving to. I mean, beautiful place, growing substantially, and absolutely love Oklahoma, and I don't see myself being anywhere else in the future.
Definitely a hotbed for soccer, a hotbed for opportunity as well. There's a lot of moving pieces going on right now, so that's also very exciting. But let's get to know a few of the players a little bit, and then we'll kind of jump into a little bit more of the behind the badge. Guys, can you introduce yourselves? Tell me where you're from, what position you play, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I'm Louis Bassett, originally from Leicester, England. Been here for this is my third year now. In the States, been in Oklahoma all 3 years, and I'm a forward, left winger, and it took some getting used to Oklahoma, but like we said previously, I love it here, and this is my home away from home now, I think, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, my name is Jonty Clarke. I'm also from England, from Cheltenham. I was here. I used to play at Rose State College, the junior college in Midwest City, and I spent 2 years there and had some of the best years of my life. I then moved to a school in New Hampshire, a Division II school up there, I didn't think I'd be back, and I didn't think I'd miss it this much. I'm so happy to be back in Oklahoma, playing especially, and seeing everybody that I've missed. So.
Well, me, Igor Caballero. I'm from San Sebastian, Spain. I've been here my last 2 years in Oklahoma Christian University, and I would never expect to be that good here in Oklahoma after coming from Spain. And I would never expect to be this summer here playing. Like, if someone would tell me back in Spain that I will be here playing a summer league, I wouldn't even imagine, but I'm really happy for the opportunity they are giving to me and to all the players So yeah, that's me.
That's I appreciate you guys for introducing yourselves like that. We brought up all these moving pieces and how foreigners are coming and staying, but the opportunities are what are important. You're putting a new team together. You're building chemistry. How has that experience been? Implementing your culture on a team.
It's been so fun and like nothing I've done before. So, I come from a commercial real estate background in which there's a deal you're working on, there's your attorney, your broker, your banker, but there's not necessarily, a team of 25 players. We've got 22 staff members, so a really, really big operation. But it was something where it's difficult to do it the right way, but that's the only way we wanted to do it. We wanted to make sure that these professional players are supported how best we can do it. So we wanted to make sure that from everything from sports analytics to their athletic trainer to our coaching staff, everything is taken care of at the best that we can. So it's been a challenge, but it's a challenge that we definitely enjoy and are happy to have done to make sure that these players are supported. Because again, as you said, there's so many high caliber players that are coming to this country and even this state in particular. And for us, it was just very important to create the staff around it. Not only, obviously the players that we have, but the staff around to make sure they're very well supported in all aspects. So yeah, definitely been a fun one so far.
Yeah, shout out to that staff. A lot of the South Lakes coaches, right? I know a few of them, and it's definitely quality coaches. For the players, someone brought it up. You guys didn't expect for this type of soccer to be here, Igor, in Oklahoma. And now they're keeping you busy over the summer. When you go back to Spain, do they ask you questions like, hey, what are you seeing in Oklahoma and what is it that's making you stay?
Yeah, of course. In Spain, this is everything's new. Players from Spain coming to the US. Now I had to say to all my friends that I wasn't coming back because I was staying here the whole summer playing soccer, and they were surprised because in Spain we don't really hear that soccer is really important here in the US. But yeah, of course I have to tell them that here soccer is growing up as here in Oklahoma with this new team. And whereas me and my teammates, we are not everyone from the US. In the roster, you can see that there are plenty of internationals that are coming from different places to help grow soccer in here. And yeah, of course, it's going really well because you can see the level that we have in the NPSL, this league. And apart from that, I play in Division 2, and all the teams that we play against, they have plenty of internationals, and the level is huge. So that means that the level of soccer here in Oklahoma and in the US is growing up really, really fast.
No, it definitely is. I mean, were you all surprised? Maybe not you because you are from Oklahoma, but with how many colleges there are, and then how many players are of such a high caliber here in Oklahoma City, because you have, of course, Oklahoma City University, Oklahoma Christian, SNU, MACU, and the list goes on and on. But was that surprising to you guys of Oklahoma City?
Yeah, for me, definitely. Coming out as a freshman, I had no idea there was even NAIA, JUCO. I just thought it was D1 or D2, that was it. And the more you're out here, the more you understand that just because you go to JUCO, doesn't mean it's lower than a D2 or a D1. The standard of a JUCO is very, very good. And to be honest, I feel like if I did it all again, I'll probably go to a JUCO first, just because the eyes are on the JUCOs, especially the second year boys, to go D1 and go higher. So yeah, the standard across the board is much, much better than I thought it was going to be. And I think that it ties into what Igor said about the internationals coming over, because in some ways I still feel like I'm playing back home because of how many internationals there is, and the style is very similar in some ways. I had an English coach, so there was no change for me whatsoever. It was just playing in a different country. It was same style, same everything really. So that in that aspect, it really helped me settle as well. So it was good.
Yeah, it's super high level. So that's good that you were able to run into a coach that, you were able to kind of just hit the ground running. I'm curious, though, with all the internationals, what type of challenges are you running into? Because you're also running into the challenges of building a new team, building a new culture, and also setting new standards. So what has that looked like? I guess from the behind the scenes look?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question, and for us, the culture of the club, that's what makes and breaks it. That's the most important thing. And one thing we made sure of is any player that we brought into Oklahoma United FC was one who we felt could fit into that culture of being a community activist while at the same time being a high-level footballer. And so that was kind of what we looked for, quality footballers who have also the ability to do the civic activities that we would like to do. And when you put that group of people together, you're really able to build the sort of team and culture that we wanted to build. And I think we were pretty successful in doing that. Now, season will tell, but I like our odds. So,
I mean, the first game went well, right? If I'm not mistaken, was it 5-0?
5-1.
5-1.
And, NPSL, don't get mad at me, but it should have been more. I think that the should have been more. That's all I'll say. I'll let you guys, watch the game and see what I mean by that. But yeah, should have been more.
How did it feel being on the pitch, guys? New team, new coach. I'm sure you guys are going to be running into issues, but a 5-1 start is a great start.
It's a new club, and it's a quote-unquote new team, but it doesn't feel like it's a new team. Like, even though I never went to college with Jonty, we went spring break together, so a lot of players that I've never even played with before, I know. I'm already friends with them. I think they said on commentary the other day, maybe the 17 out of the 26 guys that travelled had some sort of relationship before even playing together. So it's a new team, but it's not a new team. We all know each other, and that, I think it showed when we played our first game. There was no nerves or anything. We just played because we know it. Like, we're used to each other already.
Yeah, to add on to that, I mean, because the majority of the boys are from around the area, from SNU, Oklahoma Christian, Oklahoma City University, etc. A lot of the boys already have played with each other or played against each other. And so it definitely, the respect levels were already there because everybody knows that everybody else is quality. Everybody else is going to be competing at a high level and not going to let you down. So that also improved the chemistry with the team 100%. And it definitely didn't feel like, how a new team usually is. They sometimes have nerves first game or look a little bit off. It definitely didn't look like that at all. It looked like we've been playing for years together. So,
with a new team comes the competitiveness of everyone fighting for a spot. Nobody has a spot secured from last season, so is it more or less like cutthroat at practice? I know you guys are friendly, but at the same time, everybody wants that playing time. What's the vibe been like? Because I imagine it being pretty competitive.
Yeah, no, I think because we have so many players, every position has competition. It doesn't matter from goalkeeper to striker. Every single position, there's at least 2 players which could start easily. And I mean, everybody knew that coming in. We knew that it was going to be a high level. We knew that this is not just any other summer league. This is a team which wants to have big goals, big aspirations. And so we knew the competition was going to be higher, maybe than our college at the moment. But yeah, I mean, so everybody knew, and the respect and competitiveness was top from day one, 100%. So
this will probably make it pretty interesting when you guys go back to college ball, having already played and then probably playing against each other. Were you going to bring something up?
Yeah, and I mean, that was something to where, just from the recruitment standpoint, we've got a great head of soccer operations, Harvey Paul. Shout out to him, assistant coach at Oklahoma City University, knows the game very well. Between him and myself, we made sure that, any player that was coming in knew that what we were trying to do was to just put the best group of players together and to just see from there what happens. We were like, we'll put the most talented guys together and see what happens. But first game, and not only the first game, we had the preseason game as well. So 9 goals and again, should have been more. 9 goals in 2 games, 1 against us. That shouldn't have happened either. And again, I'll let you guys see what I mean by that if you watch the game. But yeah, no, so far so good, and definitely excited to see how the season goes. Obviously, we've got a big test upcoming with West Texas, but yeah, we just tried to put together the absolute best of the best together, and from there see what happens. And yeah, these guys have been great so far.
What are some of those goals that you guys are attempting to achieve? I'm sure you guys have something written up on the board, but what are you guys looking to achieve this first season?
Man, I need an NDA if I'm about to go into all that. But no, There's quite a lot of stuff that we're hoping to achieve with this organization, and I say organization. We're not a team. We're not just something that's playing soccer. We're an organization, and the goal is to really just represent this state and this city as best we can, and to provide a product for the fans in this city. I was a fan growing up and watching all the soccer in Oklahoma City. I absolutely loved it. We want to be that for the kid in Oklahoma City who's watching soccer. I just want to put the best product out there that we can, between the entertainment side of coming to the game and having a good time to the quality on the pitch. We want to marry those two things together and just put the most amazing product we can out there. There's a bigger picture that's definitely something we're planning on going into, but yeah, as of right now, the main focus is just how can we put the best possible product out there possible.
And home this season is UCO, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So Chad Richardson Stadium on the campus of the University of Central Oklahoma. And honestly, we could not be more happy with where we're going to be playing our home games. I mean, that facility is...
It's a nice facility.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean...
Kind of under the lights, too.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. Chad Richardson is someone who's a visionary and who's done so much for this state. And so, playing in that stadium was an honor for us, and we're very, very, very excited to do it. And really, there's nowhere else we'd want to be. From the facilities to the fan experience, it's all new. The screen is fantastic. The locker rooms are, which, some of these NPSL teams, I get mad because I'm like, we're giving you guys the best locker rooms, and when we go play against you guys, we get nothing like that. But, the best recruitment is to provide a great experience for away players for sure. So, yeah, we're definitely excited for the facility we're playing in.
Yeah, and then when you keep that in mind, it also makes the recruitment for second season even better, because you mentioned at the NPSL level, it varies, but being able to stand out by putting out a product and an experience like that is very valuable, and people need to take note that this is going to be the real deal down there in Edmond. So that's super exciting to see.
Absolutely. We wanted to make sure that, like you said, with the NPSL it varies, but for us, we just wanted to make sure that it's the absolute best facilities with the best players, and you put those two things together, I mean, you're able to build something really cool. So we're excited.
Definitely. How does it feel as foreigners now, having Oklahoma basically on your crest? Oklahoma United FC. It's just you got the state on your crest. Is that any pressure? What's that experience like?
I wouldn't say pressure. I think we all take in our stride. Like I said, this is home, away from home for me now. So it's not pressure, but I would say it's pride wearing it. Wearing that, representing, like Abdullah said, there's no NPSL team in Oklahoma now other than us. So I feel like we're trying to inspire the younger kids to come watch the games, come play. But yeah, we just want to put Oklahoma kind of on the map, footballing wise, just organisation wise, and I think everything's in place to do that. On and off the pitch, we're ready.
I'm ready to see you guys do some work, honestly. I would love to see the Oklahoma United at the very top, at the very end, playing that final match, because you guys are representing the city, the state as well, being the only team that is representing us in this league. But I'm curious, I'm not too familiar with the structure of the league, and I was wondering if you could probably break that down, maybe for myself, but also for the listeners, to provide some context as to maybe how that bracket ends up looking at the end of the season, and how many teams, and are you able to kind of inform us a little bit about that?
So the way that the NPSL is structured is it's a regional focus, but it's a national league. So I mean, you have teams from coast to coast, 76 teams in total. So there's a lot of teams, a lot of good players, and we are in the Lone Star Conference. So the way that it works is we've got to be top 4 in the Lone Star. If we're top 4 in the Lone Star, we play in the playoffs to go represent the region. Then the regions play against each other, and then the winner of the regions are playing in the national final. So first you go conference, then you go region, then you go to the nationals. But it's going to be a very, very, very competitive league, that's for sure. Our conference that we're in, the Lone Star Conference, I mean, that's going to be tough as well. These are established teams that have played for a good amount of time. But, I think we've put together a really, really strong group of players and staff that are going to work together to make sure that we are, just as good, if not better, than any of them and are able to stand at the end of the season as number one. So yeah, it's conference. Hopefully we go in there and be the number one seed and win that, and then from there we go on to the region, and then from there we go on to the nationals. And again, the goal for us, one thing we're really, really, really hoping to do is to bring U.S. Open Cup to Oklahoma City. That's what would be for football fans just an absolutely amazing thing for these fans to see. And so if we're able to win the Lone Star Conference, it's the top 8 in the NPSL that end up getting automatic qualification for the U.S. Open Cup. If we're able to win that Lone Star Conference, we're able to automatically qualify. And so for us, the goal is, can we go in there and win that Lone Star Conference and bring U.S. Open Cup to OKC? I mean, heck, maybe we'll see Messi here. Who knows? But we'll try to make it happen. We're going to try to. We're going to do everything we can to make it happen. But yeah, that's definitely the way that the league works and the goal.
Yeah, there's been some teams from the NPSL that has made some big moves in the Open Cup. So it is not unrealistic to dream
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
When you put it that way, that's some lofty goals, but it's all within the range of possibilities here.
It is, man. It's like, we've got a chance. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, but that's what you wake up for, and that's what you wake up excited for. So we're definitely going to try to make it happen.
Yeah. How does the playoff bracket and all that stuff sound to you guys? It sounds very similar to how the NAIA does it here. But what we know is eventually it comes a point where you can't lose a game. You have to win 6-7 straight to be that final team. But on top of that, you guys are going to be playing, other colleges, players that are going to be eventually playing in college. But how does all that sound to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very similar to how we are in college. It's the same sort of setup. You have the league system, the conference games, which are very important for seedings, and then it goes to the tournament, and then from then on it's win or go home. So I think it's a decent amount of experience that we have in it, which will hopefully be able to help us. So.
Igor, ¿qué opinas?
Bueno, yo puedo decirte, comparando con España, aquí las ligas son mucho más cortas. Yo en España cuando jugaba tenía 40 partidos y claro, aquí no tienes 40, tienes 10. Entonces como pierdas uno, te vas para abajo. Y ganas 3 seguidos y te plantas primero. Entonces es diferente, por supuesto, pero al final, después de 2 años, ya acostumbrado a tener esa rutina de... Encima de los partidos, tenemos casi 2 partidos en 5 días, en un margen de 5 días, por lo que tienes que estar mentalmente y físicamente preparado para ello. Y sabes que si pierdes uno, tienes que ganar el siguiente. Y si ganas el siguiente, te puedes plantar como top 1 de la conferencia. Entonces, cada partido importa muchísimo y tienes que estar acostumbrado para ello. Pero bueno, tengo mis compañeros aquí de conferencia que tienen seguramente más experiencia incluso que yo, más todo el roster nuestro que está increíblemente preparado para ello. Así que no hay ninguna presión ni ningún miedo para eso.
Un equipo lleno de cracks, por decir.
Exacto.
Como el representante español,
Sí.
¿me puedes platicar un poco de cómo has visto la organización, siendo que es el primer año entrando a una liga nueva y haciendo un único equipo representando al estado de Oklahoma? De tus ojos, viniendo de España, ¿cómo has visto el proceso de todo?
Sí, por supuesto. Yo, de primeras, ya para hacerte a la idea de que yo en ningún momento había pensado, ninguno de mis años, quedarme aquí a jugar al fútbol en verano, porque tienes al final tu familia en España esperándote a que llegues después de 5 meses aquí estudiando, pues tienes ganas de, obviamente, de volver a casa. Pero al final a mí me surgió la oportunidad gracias a Abdullah, que me vino a hablar, me llamó un día por teléfono, me contó el proyecto, me cogió un momento en un restaurante y me contó toda la visión que tenían, y básicamente es que fue una oferta prácticamente irrechazable. Tanto el dinero, pero más el tiempo que están invirtiendo en tanto jugadores, staff y bueno, todas las instalaciones que tenemos. Nos está haciendo algo increíble, que yo no tengo mucha experiencia en esto, pero creo que para ser un primer año son cosas que ni equipos que llevan aquí 5 años trabajando en ello creo que pueden tener, y nosotros ya siendo primer año tenemos esas facilidades que digamos. Entonces, desde mi punto de vista está siendo algo increíble, porque en ningún momento me hubiera imaginado este nivel de profesionalidad, por lo que la verdad que no se puede estar más contento de haber elegido esta oportunidad.
Se nota, desde afuera, viéndolo desde afuera, se nota que sí, se están moviendo en una manera correcta.
Sí, totalmente.
Y se ve muy atractivo, para el fútbol que está aquí, porque como tú lo dices, hay muchos equipos aquí, pero pues se siente que no tienen esa identidad con la ciudad.
Exacto.
Y pues de cómo lo está haciendo muy bien.
Totalmente de acuerdo, la verdad. O sea, no puede haber una mejor forma de representar al estado de Oklahoma, a la ciudad en general, y creo que se está viendo con el apoyo de todos los fans y bueno, ya solo viendo toda la gente que está atraída por este proyecto, ya puedes ver que es un proyecto ganador para ello, y la verdad que es que no se puede pedir mucho más. Tenemos todo lo que un equipo profesional puede tener, por lo que la verdad que muy contento por todo.
Gracias, Igor. Just to let you guys know, with Igor, we touched a little bit on what the experience has been like with the new team, being from another country. And he spoke on just the level of professionalism that has attracted him to stay, and that conversation you had to make him stay over the summer. But I agree with him. Looking at it from outside in, we can tell that it's definitely been done correctly. And we can tell from the outside that it looks professional. It looks attractive, and that level of professionalism tied along some good soccer is going to breed some good things. So, yeah, shout out to you, my friend. Seems like you guys are on the right track.
No, very much appreciated. And that's what we wanted to do, was to, and this is something that, I love doing, my partners love doing, the players love doing, the staff involved love doing, the coaches. I mean, it's just, we all love what we're doing to where it doesn't even feel like work or a project, or, it's just something we really, really enjoy doing. And when we enjoy it that much, we try to pour everything we have into it. So we've tried to make it, as amazing as a product as we possibly can. And I'm glad that, players are seeing that, and people outside the organization are seeing that as well. And we're definitely going to do our best between all of us to make sure that standard continues. So we're definitely excited to keep that going.
With there not being as many professional teams here, one could go out on a limb and claim to be the best team in Oklahoma. Is that a title you think you guys are going to be taking here pretty soon, or are you guys just running out the gate and saying, what's that statement that you guys want to make for all those other teams out there?
What I would say is come watch us.
I love that.
Come watch us and make that choice for yourself. But I think that, if you do come watch us, you'll be very, very excited, and you'll be very happy with what you see.
From the players.
I mean, that's the professional response. I would back us to be the best team here, yeah. Like I said, I'm very confident with the players that we've got here. And how we play tactically, we're all set up and ready to go. So yeah, give us any more.
What's the vibe like with the team? 2 games in, 9 goals. I'm assuming you guys are like hungry sharks, ready to like just have some more. What's it like?
Yeah, genuinely, we can't wait to get going again. We have a 2-week break now. So our next game is not this weekend, it's the following weekend, but we'd be buzzing to play this weekend. We have practice in a couple of hours, we're training every day. And yeah, the boys just can't wait. It's more excitement. It's we know what we can do and what the season has potential to be. And yeah, can't wait to get going.
And I would comment on that. I mean, for me, before business and before anything, I'm a huge, huge, huge soccer fan. And so just being able to go to practice and see the behind the scenes and see these guys compete and how good they are, I mean, it's incredible to watch. And, I really encourage any soccer fans, May 27th, you come out, you won't be disappointed. I mean, these guys put on a show, and it's beautiful, fun soccer to watch.
Now, we can get individual tickets. Is that correct?
You can. So individual season tickets. We've also got a flex pass where you can buy 3 of your choice. So we've got, multiple options available. And again, for us, the goal was to provide, a really good entertainment experience. So we're going to be doing some really cool halftime stuff. There's a lot of giveaways. There's going to be cool shopping there. We want it to be something to where you go to watch the football, but there's beautiful things going on around it that are very enjoyable as well. So not only are we going to, hopefully win and be the NPSL champion, but even if you're just looking for a good night out, it will be a good night out. That I can guarantee it, or your money back.
Mm-hmm. What's been the hardest part of the process? You have a soccer background, but you have a background in, what was it again?
Commercial real estate.
It's totally, playing, but the business side of it is just so different. What's been the hardest part of accepting it all? Because I've spoken to a few of my friends, and they use words like fan experience that they probably would never use as a soccer player, but there's so many factors that you have to take into consideration.
Absolutely. For me, it's very similar. The way that I look at it is soccer, you've got, it's not a business like any other to where you open up a spreadsheet and, you have X, Y, and Z written up on there. It's a magic you've got to create. And so for us, from the business side, we were like, how do we create that magic? One of the ways, and the most obvious way, is to have a team that's fun to watch. So, I think we've done that. And I'm excited for fans in Oklahoma City to be able to see that, and they'll be able to see it very soon. But the other side of it is having a stadium that is fun to go to and things around the stadium that are fun to enjoy. And that I think we have as well. So for us, it was let's create the magic, and then from there, the business will make sense. So for us, again, the most important thing was just creating the magic, and I'm excited for fans to see that magic that we've created. And then from there, that product is something that people will want to go see. So for us, again, it was just very much, and I don't know if that's the answer that necessarily was you guys were looking for, but we just wanted to create magic, essentially.
Yeah, it sounds easy, right? It sounds easy, but, you also have the passion for soccer as well. You said how exciting it is to get to watch them practice. Is it hard not to get, hands-on on the soccer side?
Sometimes it is, but I've just got to, I told myself I'm going to sit all the way up, because if I'm sitting in the front row, I'm going to be yelling too much and yelling stuff that I shouldn't be saying. So yeah, the referees are definitely going to be hearing it from me if I'm too close to the field. So yeah, sometimes it's difficult, but that's just the passion of the game. I love it. I love it so much. And, yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
You ever laced up the boots and gone out to practice with the guys?
Not with these guys. No, they're too good for me. But no, I have sometimes, informally with some of the guys, and when you play with them, you're like, man, it looks so simple and it looks so easy. You see these guys play and you're like, oh, I could do that. Then you go try and do it and it's like, man, no, I can't.
You have some good long balls though. You have some good long balls.
I can ping it well. I can ping it well. If we have a lot of injuries, maybe I'll think about suiting up. But yeah, we need some serious stuff to happen for that to happen. So
man, dude, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. The season is long, but I'm excited to watch those games under the Edmund lights. I'm excited for the fan experience as well. With the games that you guys are playing against, I guess you guys aren't looking at taking any L's, right? It's all just W's across the board, right?
Yeah, the Antonio's kind of drilled it into us that obviously the end goal is NPSL champions, but our goal before, when was it, Saturday?
Yeah.
Our goal before Saturday was make sure we're 1-0 by Sunday, which we are. So, and now our next goal is make sure we're 2-0 by, in 2 weeks. So we have obviously the big end goal, but that end goal doesn't happen if we have small goals that we don't hit each week.
Igor, ¿qué opinas?
Básicamente, como mis amigos de España, del Atlético de Madrid, como dice el Cholo, partido a partido, como se suele decir. Obviamente nuestros objetivos son a largo plazo, pero obviamente esos largo plazo no se pueden cumplir sin un corto plazo, por lo que hay que ir, como ha dicho mi compañero Louis, hay que ir partido a partido. Nuestro primer objetivo era ganar el primer partido, conseguido. Ahora vamos dentro de 2 semanas, nos toca el segundo partido y después de 2 días tenemos el home opener, que esperemos que después de ese partido tengamos un 3-0 y que ya nos vean como aspirantes al título en la Lone Star Conference y sin duda como un rival a batir en los regionales.
¿Y cómo sientes el equipo? Como digo, es un equipo nuevo, con entrenadores nuevos, pero a lo que estoy escuchando es un equipo muy competitivo, que, como lo hemos dicho, están haciendo las cosas bien, pero tú como jugador, ¿cómo has sentido el equipo?
Sí, el equipo está formado por muchos jugadores de un nivel altísimo y antes habéis hablado de la competición para jugar, todo el mundo quiere jugar obviamente, y igual tenemos como 3 jugadores sin duda que quieren competir por tu puesto, entonces tienes que estar al 100% de momento, pero eso hace que seamos mejores. Al final esa competición que tenemos entre nosotros es lo que nos hace luego llegar al partido y dar lo mejor de cada uno, y por eso también tenemos un equipo que se nota que vamos todos a una, que es lo más importante. Se nota que tenemos un equipo fuerte, unido, y se vio en el partido del fin de semana pasado que era un equipo que, a pesar de ser un equipo nuevo, tú lo ves jugar y no parece. Llevamos tiempo ya entrenando, obviamente, que eso se nota mucho la diferencia, pero desde el primer momento llegas desde diferentes puntos de Oklahoma, pero aún así llegas al mismo campo y no parece. Todos tenemos un objetivo y vamos a ir a por ello.
¿Qué te preguntan desde España del fútbol del estado aquí?
Sí, a ver, en España obviamente pues tú relacionas Estados Unidos con el fútbol americano, el básquet, el béisbol. No, se siempre preguntan, ¿y es tan bueno el nivel quizás en Estados Unidos?
Y luego te preguntan, ¿de dónde eres? ¿Dónde estás? Y de seguro no ubican dónde está Oklahoma.
O sea, Oklahoma, el estado como tal, la verdad que no es un estado pues como California, que puedas decir, Florida, que todo el mundo los conoce. Pero ahora, la verdad que gracias a la NBA también, gracias en la NBA está haciendo muy fuerte en España y eso ayuda mucho. Pero al final, Oklahoma está creciendo mucho, y tanto como el estar al lado de Texas también tiene su ayuda. Pero obviamente yo me encargo de darle su nombre a Oklahoma, por lo menos en mi ciudad, en San Sebastián, donde yo estoy. Todo el mundo sabe dónde está Oklahoma ubicado en el mapa y saben que hay nivel ahí.
Nice. How important is it to provide these players with the professional experience? It is NPSL, but from what I've been picking up, you guys are doing it a little differently from other teams.
Absolutely, and for us, it's very simple. If you want the best, then you've got to be able to provide something that the best would want. And so for us, it was very simple. We understand the logistics of how this works, and we understand that a lot of these players are not from here, and they don't have a parent's house that they can go to. So for us, it was just, how can we make it to where the only thing these guys have to worry about is soccer? That's the goal for us as an organization. How do we set it up to where these guys come, they're playing with us this summer, the only thing they have to worry about is playing soccer. Everything else is sorted. So that's our goal, to sort everything else out. So for these guys, the only thing they have to worry about is how do we beat West Texas on the 25th. That's what we wanted to do, and that's very, very important to us. And in order to ensure getting the best talent and consistently getting the best talent for seasons to come, that's the way to do it, and that's the only way we want to do it.
What's the identity that you guys are trying to kind of create here for yourselves with Oklahoma United?
Good questions. I mean, it goes from the name, Oklahoma United. We want to be the club for absolutely everybody to come support, watch, and enjoy, but more than that, feel a part of. So, we've got 2 initiatives that we have out right now that we're hoping to use to make sure that everyone is able to practically feel a part of Oklahoma United, not just by saying it. We've got the Urban and Rural Initiative, the UR Initiative. And so we're big supporters of high school soccer on the girls' side, on the boys' side as well, in urban and rural school districts, which are overlooked a lot of times and are not given, the support that they need. And again, there's talent absolutely everywhere. And so, we've donated to multiple of those schools, and we're planning to do some camps to where these guys can teach their skills. So, we can have Louis Bassett teach how to score the first goal in Oklahoma United history, and we can have Igor teach him how to turn in a tight space. We can have Jonty teach him how to get no one to go past you. So we're definitely, excited to do that. But that's an initiative, we're doing to make sure that everyone knows that this is your club. This is Oklahoma United. This is you. And we're there with you every step of the way. And then we also have the Indigenous ID program. So, very few Native American players are given the platform or the resources in order to show, how much talent they have in that community. And so one of the things we're also trying to do is to send out, our players, our coaches, as well as financial resources we can provide into that community, just to bring as many eyes and, as many resources as we can to them, to show them that, hey, this is your club as well, and we're going to support you along the way. And another thing we're planning to do is to be able to support all the local high schools. We're planning to set stuff up, which we're working on right now, to where we have our resources available to them, whether that's coaching, whether that's our players coming to, help out in a session or something like that. So yeah, again, our identity and our goal is this is everyone's club, and we don't just say that, we want to be with you every step across the way. And then, we'll all come to the stadium and together win
united.
that championship. Be united, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's kind of a summary of us.
That's a huge initiatives that you're taking, and very valuable initiatives to be taking too. As the Football Factory, I do the social media, so I see what it means to those smaller schools to be represented on those pages, the Sally Saws, those schools that often get overlooked by the bigger programs and the private schools. You know,
Absolutely.
There's a passion for the game in these small pockets of the state, and uniting them in the way that you're doing is going to be growing the game. We have this hashtag, the saying that we say is called Mas Futbol, because we think Mas Futbol fixes all problems. You know what I mean? Just play more soccer, Mas Futbol. And those initiatives very much remind me of those words that you're doing, especially the Indigenous one as well, the Indigenous ID camp, because there's no reason why it's the world's game. You know what I mean? And when you say to identify those players, but also bring the soccer to them, yeah, I think that's an initiative that many people haven't really touched on, and that will yield some fruits because we just need Mas Futbol.
Absolutely. And, you look at Chris Wondolowski, he's a player who's a Native American heritage player, and the talent's there. The talent's there, and it just has to be tapped into. And so that's something that we're definitely going to try to do as Oklahoma United. We're everyone's club, and we're there for you, holding your hand, not just saying it. So we're definitely excited to be doing these initiatives.
I love that. You brought up the first Oklahoma United goal by Bassett, right? Can you walk me through kind of like the play? This is a huge moment, It's the first goal scored for the club. So did you feel that weight of that goal at the moment? Or were they coming to you afterwards and say, hey, did you just realize what you did there?
Yeah, so... Yeah, it wasn't me, to be honest. He set it all up, basically. He took it down the left-hand side, got past 1 or 2 defenders, and just cut it back to me, and I was on the edge of the 6 and just put it in. But as soon as the goal went in, I knew that was obviously the first goal, but it was more of a relief of, okay, we're 1-0 up in the first game, and
job's not done.
Yeah, it was more of a relief that we're up. So, but the announcer I did hear him say when I was walking back to the halfway line, that was obviously the first goal, and that's when I put 2 and 2 together. That wow, I've really done that.
Yeah, how was that watching that from the stands? Because you guys have been working on this for a very, very long time. And then to get to witness the first of many goals, because in 2 games you've scored 9. What's that been like?
There are certain beautiful moments you see throughout the process, but that was definitely, up there. To see it go from a concept and an idea to the ball going into the back of the net for the first time, and the announcer saying it, and the crowd booing, and them being unhappy, but us being very happy. It was beautiful to see, and it was something that I'll never forget for sure.
Have you ever thought of putting the camera on you? Have you seen people streaming themselves as they're watching the game? Just to
I think that if there was an Abdullah cam, then people would be entertained for sure.
Yeah, maybe it's an idea to
that
keep
I can say confidently.
I'm pretty curious as to, because owning a team, and there's a lot of hours, a lot of work that behind the scenes that nobody sees. Us as a fan are only going to get to see those 90 minutes, but there's so many hours that go behind that. So you carry all this passion and all that workload to you. So I can't imagine what it's like to sit next to you watching this game.
It's super cool for me to be able to see, when the ball goes in the back of the net. That's the most beautiful part of it, right? And then you do the work behind the scenes to get to that point. But yeah, these guys can comment on it. I'm definitely not a quiet fan. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, when I came off, I just kept on hearing someone shouting. I looked back again.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know though that you guys have someone that's passionate, if not more passionate than the guys on the field, kind of running the scenes in the back.
It's good to know that obviously your owner is so involved. I don't think any owners in the league would even travel to away games, to be honest. So having him there with us was kind of another fan or even coach. It's good, it's really good that he's so involved with us and kicks every ball, and every tackle he's there.
We may have touched on this a little bit, but just to I'm curious, what does success look like for year one for you? Good
question. If we're able to put a good amount of smiles on people's faces at the games, while also qualifying for U.S. Open Cup, being top 8 in the 76, then we've had a great season. But with that being said, it would be a really great season if we can win the championship, and I don't see why we can't. And I think we have the players to do that. So a championship, but if we're able to do, hit our community initiatives, put a lot of smiles on people's faces, play some beautiful soccer, qualify for US Open Cup, it will still be a successful season. So,
yeah, I'd say as well from the players, obviously the goal is exactly what Abdullah said, to win the conference, win as much as possible, qualify for the Open Cup. But I think it's also setting the foundation, obviously as a first year team, setting a foundation where the only way will be up. There's not going to be any regression next year. It will just be improvement and improvement from year on year on year. So
that's kind of the pros of being a new team, everyone's, like you said, has been a little bit more established, but being a new team kind of gives you guys the ability to kind of shake the waters up a little bit and really put some of these teams that already been established on edge. The long-term vision, we know it's through the ID camps, through player development, but is there anything else that we're not touching on that you guys have envisioned for this team?
No, I mean, I think we've touched it pretty, it's how can we just put the best product out there for the fans in this state that is fun to watch, that's enjoyable, and that's inspiring. The goal is to do that to the best we can, and the goal is to do that, as long as we can, as best we can, for sure.
Well, I'm excited to see what the season brings, and we're shooting for Open Cup. We're shooting for the whole thing. Igor, ¿nos podrás invitar a nuestra comunidad hispana, hablante de español, a los partidos en Edmond?
Hombre, por supuesto, por favor, me encantaría, la verdad, ver a la comunidad hispana allí representando en las gradas, por lo menos, que yo creo que va creciendo también aquí en Oklahoma. Cada vez me siento más como en casa, y no solo por llevar tanto tiempo aquí, sino también porque me gusta al final, bueno, a todos nosotros, porque yo no soy el único español en el equipo y no soy tampoco el único hispanohablante en el equipo, pero nos encanta pues ir a la grada y ver a gente con la que podamos hablar de una forma más fluida, porque obviamente para nosotros igual el inglés no es tanto el primer idioma, por lo que nos cuesta un poco más comunicarnos, pero oye, sí, cada vez que conocemos, cuando voy por la calle y me encuentro a alguien pues, que puedo hablar en español con ellos, la verdad que es una sensación de, mira, alguien con el que puedo pues hablar de una manera más fluida y comunicarme mejor. Y por supuesto que les invito a todos a venir, que estoy seguro que les va a encantar, porque tenemos un fútbol muy fluido,
muy atractivo.
Exacto, atractivo a la vista del espectador, por lo que estoy seguro, y les invito a todos a que vengan el 27 de mayo en el estadio Charles Richardson a vernos, porque estoy seguro que no se van a arrepentir.
27th of May, huh? That is, how many days is that?
That's 2 weeks.
That's
14.
2 weeks on the dot, huh?
Yep.
On a mission.
Absolutely.
Have you guys made any appearances at any Sunday league?
We have not, no. And that's definitely something that, if you can help us with that, or to get us out there, we would absolutely love to, because we know a lot of people that love soccer a lot that are at those Sunday league events. So would definitely love to be out there. Mm-hmm. And look forward to making something happen on that front.
That'd be a lot of Spanish-speaking community out there. Do you guys have any experience at the Spanish league, Sunday league stuff here?
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys have gotten plucked, and
I actually ref Mexican league.
No way, which one?
Down in Tulsa.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm used to the people there and what they're up to, and so yeah, it's a good group. It's quite tough to ref, but
yeah.
Lots of passion, man.
Yeah.
Lots of passion.
I'm tough to ref too, I'll say that.
But yeah, it's good.
And then from me, I've played down at Western a couple of times. It was for Tigres.
Okay.
Down there in the first division. So
it's a big team. I think that'd be a good move. I think a lot of people would, it spark some curiosity, and I think that's a move to make to Western, or whether it's to Utah. Yourself, the community here is very big, so
absolutely.
I think that'd be good. But I think, we've been on for an hour. We've covered a lot of bases. Is there anything that we may have left out that you guys may want to touch up on? Besides just inviting everyone to come out here on the 27th of May to Edmond to watch you guys get another dub.
Absolutely. No, I think that's it. We're just, it's something to where we'd like to show you guys. We can say it, but we'd like to show you guys. And, we're very confident with the product that we're building. And all we'd say to everyone is if you don't believe it, come see it. And if you do believe it, come see it anyways, because you believe it. So just, we're excited to show, what we've got and what we're building, and just invite everyone to come watch it.
Yeah, I'm also inviting everyone to come watch it. It's going to be attractive soccer for the professional team here, Oklahoma United, ran professionally behind the scenes, ran professionally on the pitch, so it's going to be some attractive soccer. If there's anything that we could do at the Football Factory, the Mas Futbol Podcast, to promote it, whatever we can do, please lean on us. We would love to kind of, give you guys that boost that we like to give everyone in the state. With that being said as well, we have a Sunrise Soccer program over the summer. If you, however, would like to volunteer, we do free 6 a.m. trainings for the community. We touched on it a little bit. You guys are more than welcome to join, but I guess really what I'm saying is, however we can help, please lean on us. We would love to do whatever we can.
Absolutely. Definitely excited for some collaboration. You guys do amazing work. You guys know about stuff before anyone knows about it. I mean, you guys are there when it comes to soccer in this state, and so definitely excited to collaborate on quite a few things, and would love to be involved with your free 6 a.m. trainings. I'm sure these guys can teach some good skills, and yeah, we're excited to make some stuff happen between us for sure.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys again for coming. I appreciate the listeners for listening up to this point. If you guys have any more, if you guys want to look up more information, it's OklahomaUnitedFC.com. Got it. Perfect. Check them out. Give them a follow. Definitely come out to see them in Edmond. Season tickets. How much are the season tickets?
So the season tickets are, everyone's telling me, you need to charge more for them, but $45. $45, all the games. Sit wherever you like. You can sit behind the bench and yell at these guys if they're not playing well, but that's not going to happen because they will be. So yeah, $45 gets you to all the games.
How many home games are we looking at?
5 home games.
5 home games, yep. Not including the open, the playoffs and everything.
Not
else
including
as well.
Playoffs, which hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be there as well. So yeah, 5 home games, and definitely invite you guys out to come see those.
Perfect. Well, again, thank you guys. This has been another episode of the Mas Futbol Podcast. Peace, guys.
Thanks.